Hello one and all, welcome back to Let's Play Factorio. My name is Cilantro. Last episode we were messing around with a few little robot things. While I was off camera I disassembled an old coal line that I'd used to provide these chemical plants with the coal needed to make what they needed to make. I went ahead and harvested some of the coal from the temporary miners that I had made last time. So I'm just going to throw this stuff in a chest and let these things make some more plastic. But in the first place I think I need to empty out my inventory a little bit. Yeah. Very full of nonsense. Yep, garbage, and garbage, and good enough. I've resigned to always having a messy inventory, but I can at least try to do my best to make sure that it's not super cluttered. Emphasis on super. There we are. So we should be cranking out plastic again, which I think was the limiting factor, if I recall correctly, on... Yes, that was the limiting factor on my blue science. Also, while I was looking at the tech tree, I noticed a few things. For one, the technology for requester chests and active provider chests is not actually known to me yet. I need to spend 150 blue science research packs on that. So it'll likely be my next thing so I can actually get the logistics network proper set up. As I do need that. I'm going to grab a few of these bad boys just so I can make a few advanced circuits manually. That will allow me to make some of these Robits manually. And I can install my first Roboport, which I'll put right here. I'm going to have these just feed directly in to the Roboport. I guess I can't do that one like that. Let's, hang on. Right. What's that? Oh, Roboports are 4x4. I was thinking Roboports were 3x3. That would be why it didn't quite work how I thought it would. Let's do that. That'll be better. You get put right in there, and you get put right in there, and we're in good shape. And yes, you can do this. I feel like this is one of those things that not a lot of people know about the Factorio logistics system. You can actually do that. I will also give you some repair packs, as you will need them. Get in there, construction Robits. Excellent! We now possess some robots to do our bidding. Get in there and please and make me more logistics robots. And by more I mean any, I guess, at this point. So what are we missing out on our shotgun shell 3 damage? Do we just need more time? Is it currently researching, or are we actually missing out on something? Electricity's still a problem. We're running at about half capacity for our electricity, which is not good eats. Okay, so yes, we are still working here, but we are having some major electricity problems. Wow. Holy moly. I guess the blue assembly machines do require quite a lot of power. Half capacity. That is not good. And I'd rather not expand all this sort of stuff, so I think I may just start... I may automate the production of solar panels next. That may be one of the things that I will try to produce a large amount of as they are needed. Of course, they also need a lot of steel, which I don't have automation for yet. That's one of the things I'm going to be working on for this. Still not sure if I wanted to introduce steel into the bus entirely. I feel like I should, because it's used in so many things. I'm just wary of thickening the bus too much without really getting anything extra out of it. I'd have to insert it somewhere around here as well, because I've kind of run out of space to do it otherwise. But at least we should be getting some blue science now. Looks like the blue science is starting to be created. Got a decent stock of it. Wow, this really is taking forever to research. Need more power. So much more power. Make a few solar panels while I'm at it. Seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do. Copper plates. Need more copper plates from our solar panels. You got it. I'll grab as many as I can. What's our total robot count up to? 10-4. 10-4, buddy. So I guess we are now... Yep, we're now at the stage where we were just crafting these. Why are you not being made? Oh, you're not being made because I don't have any more of these. Right. Advanced circuit's pretty important. So I guess my steel has actually been keeping up quite nicely here. Not bad. Not bad at all. Seems like just about as good of a place as any. We still cranking out plastic? Boy, we sure are. That's good. Plenty of sciencing being done. I don't actually mind being sort of tapped out on power. It naturally limits the amount of pollution that I'm producing by just me not having to introduce any more power. It does mean my overall base runs a lot slower than it otherwise would, but I'm okay with that. Really right now my primary concern is just getting to the robot tech level and getting my furnace array redone and starting to crank out solar panels, because I do not want to go for massive amounts of steam engines. I would like to eventually clear out largely, I would say a good chunk of this peninsula-ish area here will be solar panels, ultimately. Solar panels and accumulators. Kind of depends on the rest of my space. Part of me does not really like being limited in space, you know, considering I'm kind of surrounded by a bunch of water, but the other part of me enjoys it. Really makes me think on my toes. Goes back to what I was talking about before, where yes, it's a pain in the butt to have to deal with confined areas, but from a very realistic sense, it does make the game more challenging and interesting when you can't just take infinite space and use it for whatever you so desire. So, good amount of construction bots already set up. Let's start getting some of the construction robot mechanisms out and about here, including a deconstruction planner. Very handy. Allows you to destroy massive areas of your base. Only within the radius of the Roboport, of course, but we do have some of that. So, in the interest of making this a little bit more spacious and allowing me to expand further, I'm going to start disassembling some of this forest. In order to do so, though, I'm going to require somewhere to put all of my materials. So we're going to make some storage chests, if I can remember which of these 4 incredibly complicated tabs that it's involved in. And the robots will use storage chests to store anything that they harvest while they are doing their harvesting. Also, Roboports tend to be very taxing on the electricity as well. 200 kilowatts plus the charge amount that you'll be needing to jam into there. Actually, I could probably see it here even better. Yeah, single one, 200 kilowatts. Quite a lot of power usage. Crafting's still the biggest thing. Mining, of course. Still a ton of electricity usage there. Storage capacity. It's one of those things where I try not to go too overboard with it, because it can end up getting pretty ugly. But at this phase of the game, you're kind of more... Your individual inventory is less important. You know, so you can just kind of freely drop things out of here if you wish. In fact, one of the coolest things about this is if you store some of the things in, some of your items in a storage chest, you can actually ghost produce items. If you hold shift and click, any of your construction robots will go and fetch those items from your storage and place them down. Very handy. Sort of a impromptu blueprint system. Love the blueprint system. One of the coolest things in this game, really. I'm going to go ahead and make a blueprint. Blueprints allow you to save a region of materials, as in its design, and rebuild it, or build it again, somewhere else. As long as you have the materials in your bank, your construction robots will actually fetch the items themselves and produce that product. Let's go ahead and deconstruct some of our trees. There we go. Not super fast yet. There are a number of robot speed upgrades you can eventually get. This is going to hurt my pollution buffering. Trees do actually reduce the amount of pollution that you get. Note that the green area here is the area wherein construction can happen, and the orange-ish area is the area wherein logistics can happen. And they do overlap. So logistics is the involvement of the robots moving items around, and construction is more of the destroying or building of items. So, as you can see, I set on essentially a destruction order, so my logistics robots are not doing anything. Not that I have a lot of them anyway. But we're going to hopefully remedy that by starting to research logistics systems. This will give me access to a few other types of chest, which I will need. Requester chest and active provider chest. Requester chests are quite handy. They allow you to set up a system where you can, like, for example here, I need coal. So I can set this up as a requester chest and say, I need 500 coal here at all times. And my robots will do their best to fill that up with any of the materials that I have. Very convenient. Very convenient indeed. Getting a lot of beep beep warnings here like, hey dude, you don't have enough Robits. As if I don't know that. Come on game. You know I need more Robits. Don't do this to me. What with the warning message and the beeping and the bopping and all that kind of stuff. We will need a large amount of logistics robots, so we're going to go ahead and make a couple more of those. Steal some advanced circuits for my poor advanced circuit repository. And make use of those. Excellent. You know, even with these things being really slow, I enjoy watching them do their thing. This is the kind of game where you can zoom out really far and just appreciate everything that happens in it. Robots doing automated deforestation. Nothing cooler than that. Not even just in the game, just literally nothing cooler than that IRL either. Oh, I actually already do have modules available. Why have I not been making these? Our biggest consumer of power by far is currently the assembly machines. And it is actually a case where the efficiency modules are an ingredient for the higher efficiency modules and so on. So if you want to make efficiency modules too, it takes more of them. So I'm going to make some of these. While I'm sitting around waiting for my science to get science so I can continue to move on with what I've been doing, I'm actually going to make some of these. Sounds like a plan. And I think I'm going to have to address my power concerns before anything else. So I really should set up an automatic solar panel constructor. Let's do that. Let's get that done. I do want to convert these over to electric furnaces very soon. But I think because of my power issues and the fact that I have a plethora of other power sources right now in terms of smelting, I feel like it's not actually going to do any difference. In fact, I don't think, yeah, the steel furnaces are actually the exact same speed as electric furnaces, just that the steel furnaces require fuel instead of electricity. Did I say that right? The steel furnaces require fuel instead of electricity. Yes, I hope I said that right. So that's what we're going to do. You know, due to the nature of this conveyor system as well, because I have so much open area here, it's likely I could set up another smelter array to supplement the bus as it gets further and further. Seems like a plan to me. Why not? Okay, let's extend these. Extend the bus. I will at some point like to make a inserter constructor, as I do have inserters on the bus for a very specific reason, and that's to be able to make an inserter constructor, so I can have long-handed inserters and so on available if I so desire them to be available. Whoa! There we go. Make sure every item gets sent through as it is appropriate. There we are. And you need that, and you need a underground belt. There we go. So I think alongside the solar panels, I might as well make basic accumulators as well, which require batteries. So I need to peel batteries, copper plates, steel, and electronic circuits, and iron plates and batteries. Wow, maybe I should make them on different sides. These do have a 10-second construction time, and you kind of need these at about a 1-to-1 ratio to really have a genuine expansion in power usage, believe it or not. There's a lot of complicated math behind it in terms of how much power you can store throughout a 24-hour cycle and all that kind of stuff. But as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, and you can feel free to correct me in the comments below, solar panels and basic accumulators should be made at roughly a 1-to-1 ratio. Somewhere around there. So, which would be easier to make over here? I guess it would probably be the... I guess neither of them are really apt candidates. They both have materials sort of on both sides. Iron plates and batteries. Yeah, we're going to need to redirect fewer things over this way So let's do the iron plates and batteries here. I think I like that. Okay. So more of these underground belts. There we go. I will actually grab some conveyors as I need them. Hey, we're making our efficiency modules. Hooray! Excellent. Likewise, I'm going to need to divert the belts over here. Where is my splitter supply? There we are. Okay. I feel like creating just 2 of these to smelt is likely going to be enough. Actually, I do need iron for both of these because I need the iron for steel. So let's actually make it the batteries that get sent up first. That way it'll be easier to compress the rest of this. I've seen some, I hadn't really realized it when I started this LP, but I've seen some other streamers and YouTubers playing Factorio recently. Seems to be another surge in popularity. Either that or it's just, you know, I came back to the game and so suddenly I'm noticing everybody else who has been playing the game type thing. But I have to say, a lot of people have been using the whole bus system thing. I mean, inherently, just about any factory type is going to be bus-like in some ways. It's more or less unavoidable. But it's kind of curious that along the same time that I said, hey, I want to do a bus playthrough, just about everybody else and their brothers said, hey, I want to do a bus playthrough. Cool by me, though. Always interesting to see how different streamers and different YouTubers and different just players in general treat the game differently. Woo! Okay, there we go. So now I can actually use the requesters and active providers. Excellent. What else do I need? I feel like there's some vital things that I need to get researched like right now. Power armor would be nice, but not necessarily necessary. Oh, yes. Substations. Very good. Make those. Excellent. Oh. Those would actually not need to be tunneled. That would not make sense. Get that there. And more of the belts coming this way. You guys get to get deviated as well. And there we go. And there we go. And we should be in good shape. I do believe I have now routed significant amounts of materials over to this side. There. Excellent. Iron and battery nose. Exactly what I needed. Substations are the last tool that I need, really, for the power grid. I love how they have the electricity grid set up. It's not just distinct upgrades one after the other. You know, different electric tools do different things. For example, the substation gives you a 14 by 14 supply area with a 14 wire reach, so you can basically power a large amount of things by placing a bunch of substations next to each other. Very handy. You have the big electric poles, which give you a 30 wire reach, but only a 4 by 4 supply area, meaning that they are good for conveying electricity along far distances, but otherwise need regular medium electric poles or substations to actually power things. So medium electric poles have a wire reach of 9, supply area of 7 by 7, and the first stage of power, which I think you actually start off with, is the small electric pole, which only has a 5 by 5 supply area. But much cheaper. 2 wood and 2 copper cable versus 2 copper plates and 2 steel plates. So if you have extra wood, nothing wrong with using these. You know, there's always that temptation to upgrade to higher material or higher and cooler things, but it's actually not necessary. The way I see it, at least. Okay. Assembly machines, go. We're going to... So one of the things that I noticed when I was doing my online LP, my online stream LP, was issues with objects being taken unevenly from different sides of belts. So one of the things I wanted to try to fix with this playthrough was to make sure that if I was taking or putting an item on the left or right side of a belt, that I was doing so in an equal fashion either way. so that there was no material unevenness. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm already starting to fail in that, because I think the last thing, especially that I just made right here, is going to largely be taking from one of the two sides. Yeah, right here, it's pretty much only taking from one side whenever it takes anything, so that's kind of unfortunate. You know, they can be fixed through various means if need be, but something I'm kind of going to be stuck with now. But it doesn't mean I can't at least continue to try to do so. So we will try to do so. You're going to be making accumulators for me, thank you. And I would likewise like to make the solar panels here, which I need to smelt the steel for. So I think what I'm going to do for that is curve this iron back around up here and put it into a steel smelter, 2 of them, which will each be feeding into an assembly machine for the actual finished product of the solar panel. But that's going to have to wait until the next episode of Let's Play Factorio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Had a great time having you here, and I'll see you next time.